What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you my first impressions for Hogwarts Legacy, one of the bigger releases on schedule this year. That, of course, sees us in an open-world RPG set around the Harry Potter universe. However, unlike the books, we are playing in the late 1800s, where we are free to make our own character and take them in various directions, all of which we'll get into. However, I would like to lead this video with a few words on the technical side of things. When you first fire up a new game, it presents you with all sorts of accessibility options that you can customize and play with, even some text-to-speech options, as well as a wealth of other options that I thought are a great addition to any game, so I always want to call that stuff out, as it looks to be a very accessible title. Beyond that, so far the game is running very smoothly for me outside of some minor visual bugs. I haven't encountered anything major, but I have encountered a few minor visual things, such as textures popping in and out, or in the most egregious case, one of my equipment items completely losing all of its texture and just becoming a black void. But beyond that stuff, in a very general sense, I'm enjoying the game quite a bit. Easily the best Harry Potter game I've played, but that was never a particularly high bar to clear. But even beyond that, I am having a good time. The game kicks off with a short explanation that you are joining Hogwarts as a fifth-year student, which is of course highly unusual, and on your way to the school, your carriage is attacked by a dragon, which then leads to the basic plot setup around ancient magic and the ne'er-do-wells, of course, searching for it. But given that the game hasn't even technically officially released for another couple days, I'll save the more in-depth plot summary for the review video. But once you and the professor you're with manage to escape from that situation, you get brought to the sorting ceremony where you get to choose your house. And you do get to choose it. There are a couple of questions where the hat will pick one for you, but you can also negate this and just choose the house you want as well. Though primarily this seems to be a cosmetic option as it stands, as it will change some of the colors of various school robes and everything, and of course wherever your actual dormitory is in the school itself. But beyond that, just under 10 hours into the game, I haven't noticed anything significant relating to your house yet, but we'll see how that unfolds. But as far as you actually being in school goes, it's pretty well done. A lot of the early game is you going to various classes, learning a lot of the mechanics of the game on top of actual spells to use in combat. And while I've certainly been taking my time and doing various side quests as they pop up, it's probably worth it to go through the game pretty quickly, at least until you get access to the talent points, which is a story-related unlock. But once you get them, you can start allocating various talent points to specific aspects of the gameplay and your spells, which is going to make your life a little bit easier. But I will say, I think they've done a great job of introducing you to the world in a somewhat steady fashion. You can pretty much go at your own pace, though some progression does seem to be interlinked a little bit. Some various quests will require you to have a certain spell or another, which you probably get as a quest reward from either a side quest or another activity from one of the professors. But so far they've presented it in a pretty steady manner where I'm constantly unlocking a new part of the game. And most recently, at the time that I stopped to make this recording, the game is finally starting to open up and I can get out into the wider open world. And as far as the open world goes, a lot of it seems to be centered around Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. There is much more open world than that, but those are sort of your two main hubs. And then there is the actual open world, which will have little hamlets that you can help, and then all sorts of typical open world side activities to do. And while it's been a little slow here at the start, they've paced it out in a way that constantly makes it feel like you're unlocking something and seeing more of what the game has to offer, which has been nice here in the beginning. Then we have the combat system. This part is okay. It's not bad, but it's really not blowing me away either. In many ways, it's kind of like a hack and slash, except you have a wand and spells, and I'm certainly going to be curious to see how this develops as you gain more and more magic. But as it stands, pretty straightforward hack and slash. There's a visual cue for a block counter, which will see you blocking projectiles, etc. If you hold it down and perfectly block, you can counterattack as well. And then you have a variety of spells to throw back at the enemy, which you can then chain together for increased damage. And it's pretty much what you would expect from that type of gameplay. However, once I got the talents going, and and I was able to upgrade some of the more basic combat spells. You can turn things into like an AoE, which makes them more effective in general. So there's clearly going to be a lot of that kind of stuff going around. But all in all, I would have to say that it's basically what I would expect from this type of game. This clearly was never going to be a game where combat was supposed to be this grueling challenge. If anything, I would say it's average. It's not bad, but it's not really great either. Broadly speaking, first impressions, I'm enjoying myself quite a bit. There's clearly a lot to the game. It'll probably take me at least a week or two before I get the review out, but everything I've seen so far has been very enjoyable. Now, if you don't enjoy the Harry Potter universe, this might not obviously be the case, but I think they did a really great job adapting all of that to a video game thus far. It's been really fun to explore the castle grounds and the surrounding areas, seeing all these little touches that I've read about in the books and everything actually presented the way they are described in the books has been fun. And moving forward, as I go to actually review the thing, I think what's going to make or break this is how the actual open world feels that I haven't touched much of yet, as AAA open worlds tend to be pretty bland, and I'm curious how it stacks up against the relatively content-rich areas of Hogwarts and Hogsmeade. But in addition to those things, I'm curious how much of an RPG this game is going to wind up being, because here in the early parts, there have been little bits and pieces of darker choices leaning towards that sort of dark wizard side of things, and then I know the unforgivable curses are in here as well, and I'd like to see just how much choice and consequence winds up being a factor, or is this all ultimately just flavors of the exact same thing? But to wrap this up, again, I've been enjoying the title, and it's done a great job of capturing the universe. That's going to wrap it up for today. Again, going to take a little while for me to actually get through this one 100% and then review it, as there is a lot to do, quite a lot of content to sift through. I hope you enjoyed this first look at the game. If you're looking forward to the review, or you enjoyed this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.